Your open enrollment is typically 1 month prior to your renewal date. If your renewal date is January 1st, your open enrollment is probably in the month of December. Let's go over this general notice. This is for summary purposes and educational and entertainment purposes only. Please consult your summary plan description, your SBC, your EOC, your summary of plan doc, some official policy documentation for your specific plan. Most people have open enrollment January 1st, so in this example, we are going to assume that you have an open enrollment in December, so it's usually the month prior. And open enrollment is the period of time where you can add or remove dependents or change plans. Many employers offer more than one option. So let's say you're on an HMO currently, and maybe you want a PPO. This is your time of year to make those changes. It's also the time of year where you can add or remove dependents without any questions asked. At other times during the year, you have to have what's called a qualifying event, which means that there has to be an involuntary or voluntary, sometimes loss of coverage for you to be able to add or remove dependents. Now, qualifying events certainly can be outside of that, just very general description, like a childbirth is a qualifying event for you to add your baby. A divorce is a qualifying event for you to remove your spouse. A court order to add a child or a spouse is, a qualifying event. If you have a loss of coverage in some way, or your spouse has a loss of coverage in some way, or your qualified dependent has a loss of coverage in some way, that is a qualifying event for them to come onto your employer plan in the middle of the year. Now, at open enrollment, you don't have to worry about any of that, but I am going to just give a very general example of what I mean by qualifying event. Let's say it's your open enrollment and you enroll just yourself and you exclude your spouse or decline coverage for your spouse because your spouse has their own plan and they are enrolled under their employer's plan. In the middle of the plan year, perhaps they decide to change jobs or they get fired or get laid off or quit and therefore lose their benefits. This is a qualifying event for them to come onto your employer's health plan in the middle of the plan year, so you won't have to wait for open enrollment. If it's outside of that, if there's any reason outside of a qualifying event, you do have to wait for open enrollment. So the nice thing about open enrollment is that you can add or remove dependents without a qualifying event. You can also change plans. So if your employer is offering multiple plans, maybe they're offering an HMO and a PPO and an HSA, or multiple PPOs, I've seen some employers offering 10 gosh darn different options. This is your time to make those decisions and make those changes. Now, a qualifying event in the middle of the year is not the time where you can change plans. The plan that you choose at open enrollment, you are locked into for 12 months, usually. And what I mean by this, I have had employees who, let's say, have a baby, and they say, okay, now that I've had this baby, I want the platinum PPO. And this is a qualifying event for me to add my baby. Okay, great, we'll add the baby. Can I change plans? No, you cannot change plans in the middle of the plan year, even if you have a qualifying event. The only time you can change plans is at your open enrollment. So that employee that had the baby and wants to upgrade their plan can change plans at open enrollment. Insurance generally puts people to sleep, so sometimes we throw these in there just to shake it up to because it's just so corny and so weird and bizarre and not what most agencies put in their presentations that it kind of gets people laughing, whether they're laughing because it's such a corny thing and they're laughing at me because it's just ridiculous. That's fine. Whatever keeps people engaged, right? So friends don't let friends miss open enrollment. And I don't know who you are, but I will find you and I will make you complete open enrollment. So this is your HR manager at open enrollment and they get all stressed out and all intense about getting all the paperwork. And I don't really blame them.
One more thing. If you're a client, thank you so much. I love you. I appreciate all the testimonials that have been rolling in. Also, if you're not a client, I have a link down below for an application, a questionnaire. Once completed, we can hop on the phone together, probably about a 30-minute phone call to see if I can help you. Again, I appreciate you hanging out until the end, and I'll see you next time.